Hi everybody. Today we're going to start a new chapter, chapter 15, the biosphere. The first section of this chapter will be life in the Earth system. So the key concept here is the biosphere is one of Earth's four interconnected systems. Okay, let's start. So the biosphere is the part of Earth where life exists. In other meaning, guys, all the things you are seeing, biotic and abiotic, compose the biosphere. All of Earth's ecosystem taken together form the biosphere. Let's hear it again together.
Biosphere. All organisms and the part of Earth where they exist.
Exactly. So it's you, me, other species, other animals, the bacteria, the other microorganisms, the plants, and the area where we reside. This is the biosphere. Now, if you could remove all the non-living parts of the biosphere, all the water, air, rocks, and so you would be left with biota, which are collection of living things.
Biota. Collection of living things.
Biota is the collection of living things. So we have biota, we have biosphere. The collection of living things like humans, animals, plants, microorganisms, these are biota. But when the human and animal, plants, microorganisms, the place where they reside and live in, this is together composing the biosphere. Good. Now, the biosphere, guys, is one of Earth's four major interconnected systems. So, the planet Earth has interconnected systems. Okay. These three major systems are the hydrosphere, the atmosphere, the geosphere. The hydrosphere is
Hydrosphere. The portion of Earth that is water.
so all Earth's water, ice, water vapor. So all Earth's water. This sentence is very simple and self-explained, guys. All the water, oceans, seas, rivers, lakes, vapor, even vapor. Okay? Atmosphere.
Atmosphere. Air blanketing Earth's solid surface.
Air blanketing Earth's solid and liquid surface. So it's the air around us. Okay, guys? All the air around us, this is the atmosphere. Geosphere.
Geosphere. Features of Earth's surface, such as continents and the sea floor, and everything below Earth's surface.
Good. So the geosphere features of Earth's surface, such as the continents, rocks, sea floors, everything below Earth's surface. The Earth surface, guys, with the sea floors and everything beneath that, all of these we call geosphere. Like the word geology, which is the science of Earth, Earth surface and Earth layers. Okay? Now, all four Earth systems interact to really understand how an ecosystem works. For example, a plant growing in swamp. So this plant will depend on the soil. So this is geosystem, okay? Geosphere. And which it grows just as much as on the water. Now it's hydrosphere. Now it uses carbon dioxide, which is the atmosphere, to make sugars, and it gives off excess oxygen. So the Here are a simple example, guys, that showing us the hydrosphere, atmosphere, geosphere, how they collaborate together to maintain the biosphere. Okay, guys? Now, of course, before we move on, I have to clarify something, guys. Now, the biosphere is one of Earth's four major interconnected systems. We have four major interconnected systems. We will explain them in the future. The first interconnected system is the biosphere. Now, the biosphere composed of these three systems. Okay, guys? So you don't mix up the definitions. Now, let's move on. So, biotic and abiotic factors interact in the biosphere. Now, we have a perfect example here in this picture for how the ecosystems, how the three systems, the geosystem, the atmosphere. Okay, let's remind ourselves with them. The hydrosphere, the atmosphere, the geosphere. So here we have an example how the hydrosphere, the geosphere, and the atmosphere are working together, or if something went wrong. Okay, an example here, guys. This is a river. Okay, this is a river. Now, the river bank have plants normally. Okay, but let's remove the plant. So the plants are removed from the riverbank. Now, rain, when it falls, what will happen will flow more easily from the land to the water. Now, this increased flow, guys, would likely carry more sediment, which is soils, the sediments from soil, rocks, etc. Now, this increased flow would likely carry more sediment and therefore make the river water murkier. This is murky waters. The murky water might block sunlight. Now, if that happens, the growth of aquatic plants will be affected. This change might in turn prevent these plants from taking up carbon dioxide. So, an error happened between the geosphere and the hydrosphere affected directly the atmosphere, which will affect the entire ecosystem and the biosphere. Okay, so this is a small example, guys, on how these three systems work together. Now, we have an interesting scientist, James Lovelock, an atmospheric scientist from the UK, proposed the Gaia hypothesis. The Gaia hypothesis. The Gaia, by the way, guys, it's a goddess, an ancient Greek goddess, and it's the goddess of lush green and forests and healthy earth. Now, the Gaia hypothesis explains how biotic and abiotic factors interact in the biosphere. So, considers this theory, this hypothesis consider the Earth is a living organism itself. Okay, so Earth itself kind of living organism. Its atmosphere, geosphere, and hydrosphere are cooperating systems that yield a biosphere full of life. So, if any of these systems malfunction, this organism will be affected. Okay? So, moving on. Sometimes, guys, people mistakenly believe that the Gaia hypothesis suggests the Earth is a thinking being. No, it's not. It's a living organism that regulates the geosphere, the atmosphere, and the hydrosphere. This is obviously not the case. Rather, the Gaia hypothesis recognizes the extensive connections and feedback loops between the living and non-living parts of the planet. Many scientists are now devoting their careers to organizing new fields of study, such as geobiology and geomicrobiology, to examine these intriguing relationships. So, guys, the word mistaken, the word in like the general public always mistake the Gaia hypothesis that describe the Earth as thinking being. No, it's living being, not thinking. So it's us who the responsibility is on us to make sure that the geosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere are healthy and intact so they can collaborate together to maintain the biosphere. We're done for today's session, guys. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for listening. And we have a small assignment for tomorrow. Explain the Gaia hypothesis in your own words. So be creative, guys, and let me see your work. Thank you. See you later. Bye bye.